In the phylum Arthropoda, we will be discussing about subphylum Crustacea. As the name indicates, crust. So a hard crusty carapace is present, and from which we give it its name. The crustaceans, the organisms which are having a hard crusty carapace on their surface, they are called crustaceans. They were the organisms which first appeared in the Cambrian, and they are mainly aquatic and marine, with the gills, mandible, two pair of antennae, and stalked compound eyes. So what does the stalked means? So that means their eyes are protruding from their surface. If you have from the popular cartoons or from many other depictions of crabs, you would see that their eyes are popping out, and then they are on some stalks, and that's why these are called stalked compound eyes. The compound means that they are having many lenses. So the crustaceans are heavily the heavily armored crabs, lobsters. These are the typical organisms from the crustaceans, and they typify this diverse subphylum. So this is very diverse. It contains all the other organisms as well, which are related to the crustaceans, but these are the two which are more pronounced and more profound, which we are familiar with. So, and then there are the barnacles and ostracods. These are crustaceans with a notable geological record. So the lobsters and crabs, these were present as well, and as well as the barnacles and ostracods, these are also present in this subphylum, and they had very good geological record. So in the crustacean, there were 8 main classes. Ostracods are considered part of the microfauna. So what are the microfauna? We have discussed when we were discussing about the fossils, how do the fossils are formed. So there we discussed that microfauna are the fossils of microorganisms, and ostracods are so small that they become the part of the small fossils. So there are 2 groups. There is Cirripedia and Molluscostraca, and they have significant geological record. So what are the cirripedes? These are called barnacles, and they have shells or capitula, which is the singular for the capitulum. They consisting of several plates, and these animals are adapted to an encrusting lifestyle. So what does the encrusting lifestyle mean? That means they are living by encrusting themselves in some shells. So there are 2 types of cirripedes. There are acorn barnacles and the goose barnacles. So these are the 2 different classes which are having the contrasting life strategies. Acorn barnacles were present during the late Cretaceous, and these are sessile. These are attached one to the different structures in the soil. Sessile. These are present in the benthos or on the shores, and these were present during the late Cretaceous. And then there are the goose barnacles, and these are pseudoplankton. We know what are the planktons. Planktons are mostly the organisms which are floating in the sea or in the water bodies. The pseudoplankton are the organisms which are not floating by themselves, but they attach to the other organisms or some other structures which are floating in the sea, and they attach to them and they live there. So these are pseudoplanktons. And then there are the Molluscostracans. These include 2 subclasses. One are the phyllocarids, and then there are the Eumelacostracans. The phyllocarids are having a large bivalved carapaces and 7 abdominal somite and a telson with a pair of furcae. So furcae, with a pair of furcae means that the furcae is bifurcation that is present at the end of their body. Bivalved carapaces means that their carapaces are divided into 2, and there are the 7 abdominal somite and telson. So here you have the first crustacean, which is Canadaspis from the Burgess shell. So you can see that this was the earliest crustacean that was present in the form of fossils. And then there are the ostracods. The ostracods are crustaceans, arthropods, and these are abundant and widespread in the aquatic environments. And these were the organisms that appeared first during the early Cambrian.